Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Recording, make sure everything's good. Starting the show. 12:38. You ready?
I'm ready to go.
All right, here we go.
So I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, what drinks make you hungrier? And also, is today a Bones Day or no Bones Day? And no more Krispy Kreme donuts. And magnet fishing is causing more harm than good. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing all right? Over to my far right-hand side is IT Dan. How are you?
I'm doing good. Today's a special day. It's my wife's birthday.
Today is your wife's birthday?
It's her birthday.
What the hell are you doing over here, Dan?
I took her out yesterday.
You mean you took her out like killed her?
No, I took her out yesterday, and we bought a. I bought her a nice maple tree.
So you're gonna make pancakes and stuff? Is that how it works? You get free maple?
No, yeah, maybe eventually, but no, it's not a sugar maple.
Oh.
I bought a maple tree for the yard, brought it home and planted it, and also a holly tree yesterday. And I got to tell you right now, I feel my age.
Why is that?
Because I'm 67, but usually I feel, I'm a little bit sore, but my shoulder, my left shoulder's been really bad.
Isn't that your old baseball throwing arm there?
Yeah, I am left-handed, but I haven't played baseball in quite a while.
All right.
But it's just, I got all the aches and pains of a person my age, and usually I'll feel sore for one day and get over it. So I did a lot last week, pulling the stumps out, still finishing the tiling.
Dan, that's what you do when you're retired. You do more work than you actually would on someone. See, because you're doing it on your time schedule, and you want to have more free time. So you're trying to hurry up and get everything done. When you work for the man or something like that, you're like going, hey, I got an 8-hour shift. I got an hour lunch in between. I'm going to take my time. Something that would normally take 3 to 4 hours, I'm going to drag that all the way out for 8 hours.
Yeah, and I've just been doing a lot more physical stuff than I'm used to doing, and it's good for me to do it. But I just got to slow down a little bit.
Well, good. Now, Dan, my wife, as you guys know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. My wife and I, we sit on about 22 some odd acres. We broadcast just over our 3-car garage. I know, baller, I say it every time. And we have horses and chickens and cows and cattle, and now the neighbors' goats. We have to make sure we take care of all of them and everything. But my wife, she works from home. She's allowed. She's a permanent home worker. I'm sure they're going to come up with some kind of term for that. But she works from home, and from sun up to sundown, Dan, she works. And she's on call. She's talking to California. She's doing all this stuff. Anyways, so she wanted to make... She's like, it's getting cold out. The weather's getting nice and cool out. I want a nice, warm, hot soup.
Nothing better than warm soup when it's cold out.
Well, or hot soup. Lukewarm soup is totally different. So I said, well, pick out a recipe and, we'll make it. So she's looking at the recipe. She's like, ooh, a chicken cheddar broccoli. I said, that sounds delicious. I like cheddar broccoli. I'm thinking like Panera Bread. Have you ever had their soup from Panera Bread?
Thick and creamy. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
And so she found a recipe, and so I said, I went to the store and bought all the ingredients, and then Monday came around, and she's like, I still need to make my soup. I'm like, all right. She's like, I'll make it when I get off of work tonight. I'm like, no, off work at night for you is 9 o'clock at night. I said, look, I got some time in the morning. I said, bring up the recipe. While I'm making breakfast, I'll also do all the ingredients. So I do all the ingredients, put the chicken broth in there, put the boneless chicken, not boneless chicken. Yeah, the skinless chicken down in the bottom, white meat, breasts. Put broccoli in there, chopped up some onions, and did a little, all the little spices and stuff.
In the slow cooker?
In the crock pot, yeah. And it sat there for, I think I started at 8 o'clock in the morning. It sat there till 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
And then you turned it on?
No, I turned it on at 8. And then I went down there, and 3 o'clock, set my alarm. So I came inside. What you have to do is physically take the chicken out of the broth, and then, shred it up like you would do pulled pork, add it back to the broth, and then you have to add heavy cream, I put a little cream cheese in there, she doesn't know that, and flour, And yet the potatoes were in there too. Little fingerling potatoes. Those went in at 8 o'clock. Did all that stuff. So I started adding the chicken back at 3 o'clock, and I'm doing the heavy cream, and I'm pouring the cream in it, and then I'm thinking, this thing is freaking monstrous. I've got broccoli, I've got onions, I got potatoes, I got now the shredded chicken, and with a soup or some kind of stirring utility thing, I could not physically do it and make it right. So I've got one of those wands. You seen those wands, like an emulsifier wand?
Oh, with a little spinner on the bottom?
It's got a little blade on it.
You're going to make baby food.
No. Hold on. Now, it has a whisk on it. So I put the whisk on it, and I put the whisk in there, and then it's like, and it's like, you ever seen boats come out of the water at a boat ramp? It just spit everything. I was like, whoa, hold on. So there's no slow setting on it. So I'm like trying to do it nice and slow, And I'm watching it, and it's literally pulverizing the broccoli. It's pulverizing the potatoes. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead, like Dan says, get this over with. Let's turn it into something. Put the emulsifier on it, stuck it in there, and just kind of... All right, I'm done. It pureed everything. Chicken, the potatoes, the broccoli, and I was like, oh, you know what? I hope I didn't ruin it.
How did it taste?
So I took a spoonful, and of course chicken's a little it's a little stringy, and I'm pulling it and I'm eating it, and I'm like going, you know what? The potatoes aren't there anymore, but you got like that potato soup feel. The broccoli's not there anymore, but you get that broccoli. You still see the little BBs of the broccoli florets on top. You put more cheese on top. The cheese makes everything kind of stringy. I thought it was good.
Could you drink it with a straw?
No. It was nice and thick, and I was like, I'm eating it, and I'm like, oh, this is really good. I wish I had like one of those bread bowls, like a sourdough bread bowl, to put it in the center and eat it that way. My wife comes down. She's like, what the hell did you do? I'm like, I know. I tried to fix it, and she's the type, if she does not like it, she won't. I mean, not like it. She won't suffer. It tasted good, but she was like, you know what? This is like baby food. I'm not touching it. So I made a double batch. So I froze a gallon of it. I ate for the last 3 days. I ate the other gallon of whatever.
That's why you invited me in for some.
But it's good. It was not bad at all. I didn't ruin it, but my wife, I feel bad, but she's got those factor meals. She just wanted a nice hot soup, and I felt bad that I kind of let her down on that.
Yeah, but there's a lesson to this. You take that recipe and you save it. And when when it comes nursing home time for you, that's going to be like one of your favorite meals.
Well, I got almost a gallon and a half frozen in the freezer, so maybe I'll just save it till then. All right, guys, stick around. We got a big show for you. And don't forget, at the bottom of the hour, we have Up to Speed with Technology. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Everything in the world is good right now.
Noisiest bottled water drinker ever.
Well, you don't usually have your headphones on the speaker when you... Oh, that's the noisiest gulper I've ever heard.
All right. Oh, we're still... You know what? We're still live on the air. Sorry, we forgot that you guys were still out there. I didn't forget. Dan forgot. Thanks, guys. If you want to watch the rest of us, go over to prophetradio.com, click on Deacon Live, and you can watch the rest of this video over there, and you can download us and listen to us wherever you carry your podcasts around on iHeartRadio. We appreciate that as well. Deacon Live, all one word. Thanks. Take care. Bye. Shit, I hit stop recording when I shouldn't have. So I got a break in there.
Oh, that'll be okay.
Yeah.
People on Twitter won't know.
You ready? You don't have to do it now.
No, I'm just...
What are you doing?
Just a note for myself.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Over to my far hand side is IT Dan.
Yes, I'm going to be Demolition Dan next week.
Oh, what are you doing next week?
Next week I got in an old building, like a 1905 building.
Oh, great.
I got to tear out a floor in a bathroom, and I've already worked on this building before. It's got like 4 layers of flooring.
And you're going to get asbestos and all that stuff on you. And make sure you follow us on all your social networks before IT Dan passes away from asbestos.
Yes, I wear my mask. I'll be fine.
What you do that is go over to prophetradio.com, click on Deacon Live, and follow us on your social contacts by going over there as well. Now, Dan, before you die, granted, do you know anyone that's had like a heart transplant or any kind of transplant on their body in your family or friends or friends of a friend's?
No, knee replacements, hip replacements.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the same thing. I mean, I know that there was a time where they were doing they were injecting, certain things into people's knees. They were, putting bolts and stuff. But what about, let's say, if you needed a kidney transplant, they always have a hard time finding
A match.
A match. You see it on people's cars driving around. If you're type O whatever, or type AB plus, negative, positive, whatever, we need a kidney, and we will pay you X amount of dollars across the bottom of the. They have the little car magnets and stuff.
I asked my doctor what my blood type is, and she never tells me. She says,
Why?
I don't know.
Well,
I've asked
it's
her.
a separate test, which is weird. You physically have to ask for that, and sometimes your insurance doesn't cover it. But right now, the U.S. surgeons successfully test a pig kidney transplant in a human patient. In New York, the first time ever, a pig kidney. Why can't they say? I guess I don't
There's
know.
such long words.
I know, has been transplanted into a human without triggering an immediate rejection at the recipient's immune system. A potential major advancement that could eventually help alleviate such big words. A dire shortage of human organs. We're running low on human organs, Dan. Now, is it because that we don't want to do the organ donor on the driver's license?
That may be part of it, and there's actually less of a population.
All right, so read right here.
Yeah, the recipient was a brain-dead patient with signs of kidney dysfunction whose family consented to the experiment before she was due to be taken off life support. Oh, so it was a scientific research program more than anything. Yeah. But for 3 days, the new kidney was attached to her blood vessels and maintained outside her body, giving researchers access to it.
So now they've taken a pig kidney, and you're like going, now my mom's on dialysis, and she's been on dialysis for many, many years, or I say many years. Yeah, I'm going to say many years, at least over 3 years she's on dialysis. And of course, they're not going to give it to her because she's not stable. She, type 27 diabetes. She's already had a heart failure 10 years ago, and she's not in the best suitable.
She's not a good candidate.
She is not. So maybe if they can, they probably won't do it in her lifetime, but someone else down the line, maybe it might be me. 30 years down the line, I'm going to need a kidney transplant. I don't have any living relatives that would, I don't have like a brother or sister or anyone like that, because normally it's family that gives you your kidneys. An outside person, you don't know what their background is or the compatibility. But a kidney from a pig, I mean, I know they're smaller, I guess. They just need to filter out your blood. Is there an AB positive? I didn't know pig blood could go into human or be compatible. Or does it matter? Maybe it's neutral. Maybe it's just an empty vessel, and it'll absorb or accept any kind of blood that's run through it. It just needs the lube, the oil, the grease, or the blood to flow through it in order to operate.
Well, I was watching Elmer Fudd, and if you pay attention, he said nothing about that.
I don't know what that means. But, I mean, those are advancements in, people getting animal parts to replace human parts. Now, and you say this with this crazy and stuff. I know a guy who actually, he ruined his lens, his cornea lens, and they actually took a chicken eyeball, shaved the lens off the chicken eyeball, and placed it on his, and, surgically put it in there, and like microscopic stitches and all that stuff, and he can see perfectly now. And it wasn't something that they could do like LASIK surgery or anything on it. His thing was completely ruined. So they had to replace the lens, and they replaced the lens by using the lens of an actual chicken.
Yeah, I mean, what we can do scientifically is incredible.
What about Elmer Fudd? You want to throw anything about that in there on him? Now, scientifically, there are people in jail. There are people in jail just because of the nature of what we are as humans, and someone's going to break the law, and laws are being passed, and all this stuff.
More people incarcerated in the United States than any other country. Percentage.
Good, because that's what we need to do. But they also have a lot of other stuff going on that they can't get away with in other countries that you can do here. Now, over in Rhode Island, a man posed as a lawyer to scam inmates, then blew all their money on marijuana gambling while he waited sentencing for defrauding the government out of PPP funds. So, prosecutor Michael Muller posed as a lawyer.
Prosecutors say that Michael Muller.
Oh, I'm sorry. Prosecutors say that Michael Muller posed as a lawyer to steal money from his fellow inmates in Rhode Island. Muller perpetrated his scheme while awaiting sentencing for defrauding the government out of $699,000 of PPP loans. The prosecutor says that Muller's actions in jail showed that he is incapable of stopping himself from defrauding others.
Yeah, so prosecutors say a Rhode Island man posed as a lawyer to steal money from his fellow inmates while he awaited sentencing for defrauding the government out of hundreds of thousands of dollars with the coronavirus relief funds, He was sentenced to nearly 7 years in prison on Tuesday for defrauding the Paycheck Protection Program, which was designed to loan money to businesses, that were forced to close temporarily because of COVID. But he also applied for loans using names of friends and relatives and created false business profiles. So he stole almost $700,000. He blew it all. Trips.
So
yeah.
I don't understand what he's doing. That Muller, I guess,
while he was in there awaiting his sentencing and trial, he went and started going up to the other inmates and said, "I can help you out. I can get you out of jail. I can do this. I'm a lawyer." And stealing money from the other inmates.
But if he's stealing the money from the other inmates, he can't spend it. He's still in jail.
Yeah, well, he probably have a way of getting it out somehow.
How would he get it out?
Yeah.
And you got to wait 7 years to do that? I mean, that it seems... Is it the quest for the game or the victory of the challenge?
I think some people all they can do, they think about is stealing all day long.
So this guy was locked up in jail, posing as an attorney, and stealing money from the actual inmates. That would be the last person I trust.
Yeah, these are the people. Yeah, they have the knives. They have the big bald guys and scary guys and inmates. They're scary. Yeah.
No, I mean that'd be the last person I would trust in jail. Hey man, it's cool. I'm not guilty. How many times you heard that before? And the guy goes, "Give me $5,000 and I'll help you get your stuff going." And someone's gonna go, "Okay. You're not in here because of fraud or anything, are you?" No. They got me for something else.
Yeah, and I mean, and that guy. I mean, do you really want to mess around inmates? They get killed. A lot of people got killed in jail.
A lot of people get killed in jail. Now, Dan, before you came over today, I had some problems with my printer. Now, you just recently bought a printer. You haven't had a printer in your whole entire existence on this planet at your house.
At this house. It's been 13 years when Kathy finally said, "Why don't you go get a printer?" So I got the Epson with Eco Tank with the...
Is that the one that Shaq does the commercial for?
He does the commercial for. So I don't have to buy cartridges every week. It's something that you have one tank.
Are you doing that much printing?
No, I don't use that much at all.
Okay.
Most of the time, I print labels for return stuff from Amazon.
So all you need is the black ink.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when your printer runs out of ink? Can you switch it over to say, okay, only use this color? Like when you have cyan? Magenta
and yellow.
And what else?
CMK, cyan, magenta, and yellow,
and then black.
And black.
Is that's the only colors?
No, this depends on which printer. Some have more. But
okay.
Most of them have 3 colors.
Okay. So sometimes I know my printer will run out of blue and it says you can't use blue anymore. I'm like going, okay, make everything just black and white.
And I've seen ones that you can't. When you run out of one color, it won't print black and white.
That is so stupid. Now, right now, I don't know if it's a class action lawsuit, but right now they are riling everyone up from anyone who owns a Canon printer. Canon is being sued for disabling the scanner. Now, does your printer have a scanner on top?
Yeah, it does have a scanner on it.
All right. Now, you can use it no matter what. And I would assume that it would download the file to your computer.
Yeah, I haven't run across that yet on my Epson yet. But
okay.
I think I did have one that I could still scan with, though.
So Canon is being sued right now because they're disabling the scanner when the printer runs out of ink. So essentially what the Canon printer saying, look, you don't have any ink to print anything. I can't scan anything. You're shit out of luck.
Yeah, they're strong-arming you into buying more cartridges. Just use the scanner.
So David Leacraft, a customer of Canon, filed a class action lawsuit on Tuesday alleging deceptive marketing and unjust enrichments for the printer manufacturing. Read that right there.
Yeah, while using his Pixma MG630 printer from Canon, the plaintiff was surprised to discover that the all-in-one machine would refuse to scan or fax documents if the printer ran out of ink. And that's just greed. That's all there is. As ink is not necessary to perform scans or faxes, the argument is that the printer feature should continue to work even as no ink in the device. You know, he probably would not have bought it or paid as much for it if he had known, you know, he'd have to maintain ink in the garbage.
I would tell my printer, or I would listen to all you printer manufacturers out there. Put a setting on there if you got a color printer. Now, if you just got a black and white printer, it doesn't really matter. When you run out of black ink, you run out of black ink. I would put a setting on my printer that says, you know, do you want to do black and white? Yes. You know, do you want to do color? Yes. Do you want to print and use every single ink that is absolutely available until everything available is gone?
And you don't care what color comes
right?
out.
I don't care what. If I got a magenta thing that I'm handing in to my attorneys so I can get out of jail, magenta, yes. So that's the third option I would put on there.
Yeah, and I see at Home Depot, some of the guys would come in and they would buy all the Oops paint, and they'd take 7 different colors, pour it all in one big bucket, mix it up, and that's what color the house is.
Inside or outside paint, they just slam it.
It doesn't matter.
There you go. That'll teach you from buying from.
Well, you paint the house at 1/3 of the price. You don't care what the color is.
Exactly. All right, guys, stick around. When we come back, we are going to talk to Dan. Is this up or is this wrong one? When we come back, we're going to talk to Dan and get up to speed with technology. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
My niece is moving to Maine.
Which part? The unknown part, not the main part.
No, near the water. Near the water. And I told her, she gave me the address, and I looked at the house, and I sent her a text. I said, I did a little research for you and Prince. That's her husband's name, on your town. And I said, you're only 8.3 miles away from the hospital, but you do have to go 27.3 miles to find a restaurant that doesn't have moose on the menu. And
moose might be good.
Yeah.
When we went to Yellowstone, they had bison on the menu. We've never had bison.
Oh, I love bison. Bison tastes good. We've had that.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's an acquired taste. You know, I mean, if you find out that bison's better for you than like hamburger meat and all that, I'm sure we'd eat it more. But you can tell that
it's supposed to be better for you.
You can tell that there's a more gamier taste to it. But yeah, we had that when we were in Yellowstone.
Yeah, and I told that there's 587,000 people named Bubba in her town, which is 85% of the male population. And I had all these things that I was sending her. She was cracking up laughing about it.
And we're canceling flights.
So he's playing chicken.
Exactly.
Yeah. My sister-in-law works at a hospital, and she works from, and her argument is she works from home. She's never in the hospital, but they're telling her every employee has to. And she says that they told her she has to get the vaccine or she's going to get fired, and she'll lose her medical benefits. And she's had a stroke. She's 55. Where is she going to get medical benefits? And she says it's because they're not giving me a choice. They are giving you a choice. You get vaccinated and you keep your job, or you don't get vaccinated and you go find another job. You have a choice. And she says she doesn't have a problem with the vaccines.
But the thing is, you can't, in the middle of your, the grandfather clause would come in. So, for example, everyone needs to be vaccinated or should be vaccinated. Anyone new coming in prior to this date has to be vaccinated.
No, they don't have to do.
I know they can do whatever. I know they can do whatever they want.
And you're a hospital. You're dealing with medical issues. You see the patients that are in there sick with COVID, and you make a decision for the welfare of all your employees that everyone that's your employee needs to be vaccinated. That's a business decision you're doing for the safety of your employees, like Home Depot does safety about other things. And so she's gonna make.
Well, Home Depot doesn't tell you to put things in your body that you.
I think Home Depot is going to be talking about vaccinating, because there were some people talking about it that said they didn't want to be.
I think the Southwestern or the South. I always say Southwestern. Southwest is going to be a good precedent and show you that.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm set. I'm waiting for my booster shot. So.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. I
need to slow that down a little bit, but I'll deal with that later. Welcome back to Deacon Live. It is now time for Up to Speed with Technology with IT Dan.
Yeah, PC games are installing low-level drivers in your Windows. And if you don't know what
My Windows.
in Windows,
Oh.
Microsoft is doing it in Windows, and the drivers are actually instructions from the software to tell the hardware what to do, and they can cause your computer to crash. Make it so it doesn't start. There's different problems
Now,
with it.
I play video games on my PlayStation.
This is totally separate.
So you're talking about people that play games on their PC.
On the Windows PC.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's because it has to do with cheating. There's too many cheaters, So Call of Duty's got this Ricochet anti-cheat system, and it's installing these low-level drivers to Windows PCs, which a lot of people, it's like invading your operating system, and a lot of people don't like it, but it's something they need to do because they're trying all these various levels, and these people just insist on cheating all the time on these games. So that's one thing that's coming down, and people are worried about privacy. And if you're a gaming system, you're just trying to set it up so you have a plain level playing field for everyone, and the cheaters are messing up stuff for everybody else.
I think they should design some kind of better program, because when I play on PlayStation 4 and I play my Call of Duty, on the left-hand side of the screen you can see the next room that you're going into. Let's say it has like 15 people in it. You can see exactly what method the new Call of Duty allows people from outside the PlayStation network to play on there. So, for example, I see people. It'll show on the left-hand side whether they're playing from a PC, whether they're playing from an Xbox, or whether they're playing from a PlayStation 4 or that thing. We're all in the same family. It's when you see those PC people that they're playing online.
They have an advantage over you?
I don't know if they have an advantage because I'm awesome playing the game, but I don't understand why would you want to cheat? Because when you cheat, the game only lasts for 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then you're like, yes, I cheated, I won. And then you go back and you cheat again. I mean, you get tired of it. There's no challenge to it after a certain point.
Yeah, maybe the only challenge is you're getting away with cheating rather than winning the game.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my dad when he was working for the Delta Force company. I forget what game module it was, but the Delta Force game series, he designed all the maps and stuff, and he designed something in there that eliminates cheating. And I would try to type in God mode, or I try to type in unseen or something like that. And I'd be sitting up in the clouds and I'd shoot and, I could see everyone. And my dad would get in there and he'd see, like I was in the same room. And he goes, hey, stop cheating. I'm like, not cheating. I'm sorry. You caught me. Anyways.
Oh, okay. I'm embarrassed. I know you now.
I'll let you go.
Okay. Another thing that the AMD Ryzen CPUs, they're a little slower on Windows 11 right now. And the AMD is one big competitor. The other one is Intel. So, but it's
who's better, Dan? AMD or Intel?
I think Intel's a little better. AMD is a little less expensive, but they are neck and neck. They're close.
Okay.
But right now they're finding that the Windows 11 with the CPUs is cutting the game performance as much as 15%.
Is this all about video games, Dan?
No, this is about computers and there's gamers too. But Microsoft and AMD are both aware of it. They're working on the fix. And the thing is, I'm telling everyone they should maybe wait a little while to upgrade to Windows 11 until the fix is released.
Okay.
Then I'm going to tell you that lets you know that I've got the AMD Ryzen CPU on Windows 11, my new one,
and it works fine.
And it to me, it's fast. It's lightning fast.
I saw. I was reading an article that they actually found out that Windows 11 uploaded on an old 95 Intel, like Pentium 2. What's an old Pentium 2 or Pentium 1 processor? I was reading an article that it was like this dinosaur of a processor, and a Windows 11 uploaded on it, or loaded on it.
Yeah, you have to run a hack to get around it, but it probably could, yeah. And mine has the TPM, the secure module on it. That's one of the reasons I went for that. So, and then the other thing,
nerd.
Yep. The third thing we have here is the Sudex is making these industrial exoskeletons that amplify human strength. They're not going to make you into Iron Man or the Hulk, but what they do is they have these suits that you would wrap on, put over your shoulders, over your chest, and down your legs, and they help your back, your legs, and your shoulders. And people who are moving boxes all day long, say you work for Amazon, say you're you're in a
I work for Amazon.
Okay, you're in a shipping department.
I'm in the
You're-
shipping department.
I didn't say.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And anything you do, these things will help you work all day long. You don't have the muscle fatigue. They have a $5,000 one for boosting leg strength, a $4,000 one for lifting heavy items, and a $4,000 one for reduce arm fatigue from working over your head.
So this is an ectoskeleton that assists you in lifting stuff?
Yeah, it's not a big, awkward, clumsy things.
All right, let me
And
go ahead.
the models they use springs and clutches to provide the boost, and the Leg X gets a battery boost as well.
Okay, so I see a lot of issues and a lot of problems with this.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, here's the first thing. I know because I worked for many warehouses, Dan, as you know. Growing up, I do have back pains from doing these heavy lifting and twisting and moving and stuff. They got to a point where you're supposed to stretch and move and twist before you start your shift. I remember actually sitting in a warehouse and I had 30 employees and I'm like, all right, everyone, grab your left and twist this way. And we do a 15-minute stretch every day. And stand up and then down, shake it out. All right, guys, have a good day. Be safe, all that stuff. And they go on.
And that prevents injuries, though.
It does prevent injuries. Another thing that they had that prevent injuries, in someone's opinion, was those stupid back braces. You remember the back brace, the back belts that you used to have?
The Velcro.
And you Velcro them, and some have the stirrups or the straps that you would put on them. And they found out because of those back braces, your muscles in your back got jelly because the thing was doing the work. Your body wasn't doing the work.
Yeah, your body wasn't doing the muscle exercise.
So when you put what you're saying, these ectoskeletons that are going to help you lift and help you move and stuff, no, what it's going to do is your body's going to rely on this machine, this ectoskeleton, to help you lift and twist and move, and your muscles are going to go fatigue. It's like being in space. When they bring the astronauts out of space, they're like jellies. They can't walk or anything like that.
I saw William Shatner. I know what you're saying.
But I mean, that's essentially, yes, it might help you, and yes, it might do this and that. Now, if you are permanently, like, you could not, like if you had a stroke or something like that, and you permanently could not move the left-hand side of your body, yes, the ectoskeleton, I think, would be a great idea.
And they have used these for people like that, people who've got spinal injuries, so they can move around and do things.
And I would agree with that. But when you're saying that this is going to help you in the Amazon disbursement center, no, I think that you're looking for more issues in the long run.
Yeah, I think Ford is trying them out in some of their factories.
Okay. What else you got?
That's it. Just some couple interesting things going on.
You got do you do any homework or anything as far as computer work or anything? You normally, because you do stuff at the house.
Yeah, I just installed a motherboard and a CPU on one of my other computers, but that's about it.
Are the cameras and everything working up at the...
They're working slicker than snot on a doorknob.
Right, there you go. All right, guys, stick around. We got more of the show to get into. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Oh, I was reading about the new MacBook Pro, and they said everything on that completely blows the Windows computers out of the water.
I really wish, because of the field that we're in or I'm in, I really wish I would have got involved in the Mac stuff earlier, because I know it's a lot more simpler, a lot more streamlined to work for what we do as far as recording music and doing videos and doing editing and anything that's artsy. But unfortunately, I didn't.
Yeah, and CPU intent. Well, plus the software is you have to pay every bit of software for them. Yeah, but this that's one thing about it. And to me, Windows is like a Chevy pickup truck. I can open up the hood. I can change a bunch of things on it. A Mac is like someone drove in with the Audi. What can you do on that?
Yeah.
Maybe change the oil. That's about it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
if you can find the oil.
$27,000.
Right.
Better do it yourself.
Right, you ready?
I'm ready. What are we going into?
Knitter Troubles, SUB Bad Mommy, and Magnet Fishing. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Of course you do. Everyone wants something for free, and the way you get yours free stuff from Deacon Live is go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on the free swag section. There's a little drop-down menu. Pick out what you want there. We got some magnets. We got some stickers. We have some stuff from the Prophet Radio. We have stuff from Deacon Live. And don't forget, we also have stuff from Is This Going Somewhere, which is a podcast that Dan does all by himself. And over to my far right-hand side is IT Dan. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, and it's amazing how many people are contacting us for swag.
How many did we send out? Because we have over 1,000 something. We try to do about 250 because that's all Dan can carry. Is about 250 in a box. You know, the letters and stuff. Because magnets are heavy.
Yeah, but I walk in the post office and the guy's just shaking his head at me.
Here he comes again.
I think I got to go to another post office. The guy's he's going to start locking the door when I come in.
All right. Yeah. Now, Dan, speaking of magnets, have you ever gone magnet fishing?
No, I have not.
Do you know what magnet fishing is?
I suppose that's where you're going to be tying a magnet instead of a hook on the end of your line.
Now, what do you think you're going to catch when you go magnet fishing?
Well, look for metal objects, you know.
So magnet fishing is a big trend over in Europe, just because it's an older country than the United States. The United States has been around for what, just over 200 years?
250 years.
And we haven't had a whole lot of actual activities or wars or battles. We only have one war, actually two wars, if you want to count the American, not the American Indian War, but us against the Native Americans or the indigenous people. But over in Europe, they have gone through wars after wars over years and years of anarchies and monarchies and all that stuff. And the waterways have always been there. Now, I just saw an article the other day. A guy was fishing up the east coast of the United States and actually came across a 900... I'm sorry, it might not be the United States. He came across a 900-year-old sword, like a sword from whatever era, and you know it's got barnacles and shit all over it. And he brought it up to the surface. He's like going, "Oh my God, look at this!" And I didn't, you know.
I'm surprised a magnet with all that rust on it that would still find it.
No, he didn't. He didn't do it. Magnet. Oh. He was just down there diving, just free diving. You know, just swimming around and stuff. Now, magnet fishing, you take this almost like a rope or a rock climbing rope, and you attach this big, huge bell of a magnet on the bottom of it.
It looks like about a 10-pound magnet looking at it.
And what you do is you throw it into the water, and you kind of just dredge the water with it. Now, what they're saying is magnet fishing, the pandemic craze, is now creating trash problems all over the UK and the surrounding areas. Enthusiasts say that they clean the waterway by fishing for scrap metal, and others say hobbyists leave the slimy mess behind. Bicycles, fencings, baby carriages, shit that they don't want. So what's happening is, I don't want to read all this, is they're throwing all these magnets over into these old-fashioned waterways. You know, they're grabbing guns, they're grabbing, not guns, but sometimes they'll come across guns, they'll come across all this other stuff. Now, they're saying that that's great, because it's getting all the scrap metal and everything off the bottoms of the waterways.
But the people are, if they pull something up that they really don't want, they just leave it there.
They leave it right there. And what's happening over in Europe is they're actually coming across old warheads from like the world wars.
And one of those could detonate. You never know. Yeah.
And, you know, throwing that magnet on, and all of a sudden you bring it up to the shore and you go, I wonder what this is. Tink, tink, pow, and you're dead, you know, just like that.
Yeah, I hope they don't start doing that over here. Find that.
Well, they've started doing it over here, and unfortunately, you know, we're trading warheads for firearms.
Well, I'm thinking about that gun that well, let's not talk about it on the air.
But that's what they're doing. They're coming across all these different items that you would normally not find in a lake or remote lakes or remote streams or anything like that. So magnet fishing is causing havoc throughout the UK, as far as them just leaving their shit on the side. And maybe you'll find one of those ancient swords.
Yeah, I suppose if you're sitting around all this, it's probably a decent hobby to do.
It's almost the equivalent of what those guys down in South Florida that are retired. They got, you know, their big pop belly, no shirt on. They got their Bermuda shorts on. They got their
metal detector
and the big straw hat, and they got their metal detectors out there, and they, you know, do. That was a big craze in like the 80s because everyone's like going, look how much treasure we can find. Look at all the gold and the cool things and rings. We're going to find rings and stuff. I watched a video the other day, and it had literally a guy was like, doot, and he's got the little shovel, the little scooper that's got the vents on it, and he pours it out, and there's like a carabiner. You know what a carabiner is, right? And then he found another one. It was like something stupid like a button off of a jacket, and then he actually, I don't know if it's set up, he found like a diamond ring or something at the same time. So
Yeah, and I borrowed my friend's metal detector when I lost a screw in my yard, and I could not find it in the grass. I could not find it.
Well, why don't you use one of those? Because I've got here, it's about 2 foot wide, and it's on a long stick, a big flat magnet, and just kind of drag. You don't have one of those at the house?
No, I don't have one of those, but I looked for that, and I couldn't find it.
Dan, you can borrow mine. I get 50% of whatever you find.
No, I just went through my scrap drawer and found the right screw later on. So.
Well, hopefully the screw biodegrades and it rusts into the ground. Now, Dan, you drive a brand new Chevy Silverado truck.
Brand new, yes.
Well, not brand new, but
brand new to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, here in the United States, for those of you listening overseas, don't forget we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And population, Dan, have you checked population lately on Marshville?
It went down by 6, yes.
So,
but there's more trucks now than there were.
They actually have where you can put a decal on your car and you can run through the toll lanes, and toll booths themselves are completely being eliminated
like
by
a
now.
speed pass.
Right. And I know in Florida they've got, it's one of the oldest states that's got actual toll booth attendees now. And they're slowly eliminating those as well. They're just going to take a picture of your license plate, send you a bill, and say, this is what's going on.
They're a big thing in Massachusetts, and they get about $70 to $80 an hour, the people that work in there in those toll booths.
Yeah, they're government
union thing, And everybody gets there. You get the job by my friend knows a senator who knows that, and that's how they get the job.
Hiding from the mob or something.
Yeah.
Now, this driver right here is getting traffic tickets left and right and can't figure out why he's getting traffic tickets. And it's because of these cameras. Like I said, they take a picture of your license plate, and then you get a bill in the mail, and it's a picture of, normally it's a car, your car, the back of your car, front of your car, depending on where your license plate's supposed to be at. And you get a bill in the mail, and you're like, oh, shit, I got to pay this. And, and it's late, it's $1.28, but it's a late fee of $50, and you're like, shit, I got to do this.
Some guy got sent a picture of his car, and they sent him a picture of his car, and they told him he had to send them money. He took a picture of a dollar bill and emailed it back to them, and they took a picture of a pair of handcuffs and sent it back to him. So he got the idea. So.
Right. Now, a driver has been fined after a traffic camera thinks this pedestrian shirt is his license plate. So this happens over in, let's see, this is over in, where is this at? Surrey, England. Yeah. So this woman goes on a daily walk, at least once a day, twice a day, something like that, and she's got a shirt on that says knitter, Knitter. And the guy who is getting the bill for her walking, doing her normal exercise walking in the bus lane, I guess there's no buses in her area where she goes walking, his license plate almost looks exactly like...
Yeah, it's KNI9TER.
Now, don't forget, for every podcast we have a matching video as well. And the way you see that video is go over to profitradio.com. You can click and see exactly what we're talking about live on the air as we're talking about it here in the studio. David and Paul Knight found this out the hard way when they opened up a letter containing a fine levied against their Volkswagen transporter van, which had allegedly committed a traffic violations more than 120 miles away from their home. Now, upon closer inspection, the couple noticed that the camera made a mistake, and the photograph evidence included was a letter of not their van or any kind of vehicle at all. As it turns out, the camera actually snapped a photo of a pedestrian, and the pedestrian in the photo was wearing a shirt that said knitter. I guess she does knitting or something like that, and actually read it as the guy's license plate, which was KNI9TER, and said, close. Camera said close enough. Let's send this guy the bill. So here you go, right here.
Yeah, officials in Bath who entered the fine via automated system said the incident occurred in June. And while the fine was originally $83, it had gone up to $124 because the citation went unanswered. Fortunately, when the Knights contacted the local government to alert them of the error, the person taking the call supposedly began to reprimand Paul and Knight for driving in a bus lane before looking at the photo. Then she burst out laughing. So they got it all solved and it was all taken care of.
So imagine that. I mean, literally a case of mistaken identity.
I mean, the technology's working. It's just a little bit off.
It is a little bit off, but a case of mistaken identity. Now, Dan, you have like I said, Chevy Silverado, big V8 engine in it.
Yeah.
You love it?
Yeah, I love it.
Now, we are getting into the point where they are talking about everyone wants to be, all the manufacturers want to be, 2035, I believe?
Environmentally friendly, trying to save the planet.
And what people don't understand is you have an electric car, and I saw a stat the other day that said, how much does it cost? They were interviewing this guy. He said, I got a Tesla model, whatever it is, and I paid $51,000 for it. If you want the upgrade with all the safety features, the self-driving stuff, it was like $69. How much did it cost per year for him to charge his car versus having a vehicle and paying for gas? So he said it charged him about $34. It cost him about $34 a month to charge the vehicle at $7 a pop, and at $7 a pop will get him 300 miles. So that's 1,200 miles a month he was driving. So that's a good average as far as people drive anywhere from 12,000 to 15,000 miles per year. So he actually spent less than $700. Actually, I'm sorry, less than $600. The EPA on the car is about $550. So he spends about $600 per year just in charging his car. Okay, that's his Tesla. As to where the normal vehicle owner in something similar that gets about 27 miles per gallon pays about $1,400 to $1,700 depending on how many miles you're driving.
Yeah,
All right.
And I just got gas. It just went from 309 to 332 in one day. Popped up.
So,
but electric rates are supposed to go higher too.
but don't forget, there's a machine behind where you get the battery. I mean, there's a reason why we have lights on here in the studio, whether it comes from a coal burning plant, whether it be from a nuclear plant, whether it be from fossil fuel type plant. It's got to come somewhere. The only reason why my wife and I did not get an electric car is because the batteries at the time we were buying it, before we bought the Audi, only last about 10 years. And to replace that battery is about $9,000. So you take that $9,000 to replace the battery in, let's say, at the time we were looking for...
And then you subtract the gas mileage versus electric.
Correct. And we were still ahead, I think, $3,500 at the end of the whole entire cycle and stuff. But right now, environmental process, again, we go back to England, sparked moral debates on moms, your soccer moms that are buying the big SUVs. Now, in England, I understand, like I said, it's an older community, it's an older country, so that the streets and everything are smaller.
And plus the people have no teeth.
Well, they don't have teeth because there's a different story behind that as well. So the streets are smaller, the towns are smaller, the roads are smaller, and they're complaining about all these moms that are buying these big SUVs.
They buy monster ones, and it's one thing if you have 5 or 6 kids.
Right.
Yeah. But an environmental activist group called Insulate Britain, a subset of the larger environmental movement Extinction Rebellion, have been staging protests across the United Kingdom. These protests often involve blocking major roadways, especially those that connect large metropolitan areas like London.
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah. But a recent video of Insulate Britain blocking a mother driving an SUV from dropping her son off from school has brought up a moral debate around SUVs to a fever pitch, especially when it comes to moms.
So what they're saying is they don't want you buying these huge, large vehicles and driving around. And I know here in the United States, of course, we're America. We need everything bigger. We need everything stronger. We need everything better, right? So here's my question to them over there. So let's say this mom's got this SUV, but she's got a very, very modest home. Maybe 1,000 square foot home. Like you said, you can't buy land anymore. They're not making land anymore. So these houses are, older houses, and they're established already. Now, here in the United States, if they try to do that, people say, oh, Dan, your truck is too big. It's spending too much gas. You're a pain in the ass on the environment. And you say,
yeah, but
and you say, Now's your chance.
Yeah.
Piss up a rope.
Yeah. I'd tell people to go fuck themselves. But, I mean, we have a smaller SUV, a Rogue, because it's two of us and we don't need a huge space. But I see in my development, I have friends that have bigger pickup trucks than mine, and they take one bag of trash to the dump. They never use the back of the truck. They drive back and forth. We got big SUVs, and guess what? I think the thing is you educate people, let them know about it, but you don't protest and tell people what to do.
So here's my question. I don't know if you're capturing the whole idea of where I'm getting at here. My whole entire question is, we're yelling at all these people about having these big SUVs and they're driving around, they're burning gas and burning coal and burning all this other stuff, but no one says anything about their houses. So, for example, I've got a little Datsun D21 that Dan drove around. Probably gets, what do you think, 30 miles per gallon?
Yes.
And it's simple. It's a simple, five speed on the floor. I get a great gas mileage on it, but no one says anything about my house, which is, the house itself is 3,500 square feet. It's totally lit, totally heated, totally AC. Now, granted, the heat is propane, but that's a different story. We also have a barn, a 42 by 42 size barn that's completely lit, and it literally houses just animals. That's all it does.
And you don't need your house to be that big for the two of you.
So what
you should get a smaller house.
No,
I'm
not
going to go protest in your driveway.
And there are, what are all these rap stars? I say rap stars, and I throw that term out there because everyone goes, well, look at all these guys that make money. No one says rock stars. Let's say all these musicians out there that have these huge mansions that pay $28 million depending on what market they bought it in.
Yeah, 17 bathrooms, yeah.
And no one says anything about them. Now, granted, some of the homes over the years have gotten smarter. They got better lighting system. They got better AC units and stuff. But still, the footprint of that house that takes up is nowhere near the consumption of what this woman with her little SUV taking her kids to soccer practice and taking the garbage down to the dump.
Yeah, I don't agree with them protesting that.
Well, I mean, I agree, but you have to understand, protest is one thing. No war, no this, segregation, moderation, elimination. I think I got a song going there, Dan. Help me out with that. But I mean,
masturbation. Yes, it all goes in the same theme. Yeah.
But I mean, people are protesting about the cars, but they're not protesting about their lifestyle or their home life. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
And there's protesting, and then there's blocking the streets. You put a sign up, say get smaller SUVs, but do it on the sidewalk.
Away from my house. All right. When we come back, guess what drink makes you hungrier? And there's an interesting story about a dog that wanted to go somewhere where the parents were going and didn't want to be left behind. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Not that you care.
No, but I pretend to care.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready to go.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do that is go over to prophetradio.com, click on Deacon Live and your social contacts as well. And don't forget, for every podcast we have a matching video that runs in tandem with the show. And you can see us live at any time. Go over to Prophet Radio, click on Deacon Live, and you can see all the videos. Make sure you follow us, subscribe to us, and do all that stuff. You get that little notification when we go live on the air. And sometimes you might be blessed with a late night video game live stream of me playing golf or me playing Call of Duty. And over on my far right hand side, speaking of duty, is IT Dan.
Yeah, and I did play the golf per your suggestion, and I just find it boring. That's me.
Do you still have the year subscription, or did you cancel?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I kept that.
So every month you're going to get free games, which is good. So
and I'll try them out. And I played the golf, but I mean, it takes you 45 minutes to hit the ball 72 times, and I go.
Well, you suck at it then. Now, Dan, Halloween's right around the corner. Are you ready for Halloween? Do you get a bunch of trick-or-treaters in your yard?
No.
Not in your yard, but in your neighborhood?
No, we pretty much have a thing where we just, you let them know at the office whether you're giving out candy, and then the kids ride around the hay wagon and stuff.
But, I mean, do you have a lot of kids? And you said you have like 500 houses in your little community there. Are there a lot of children?
Yeah.
And why are you letting the office know if you're handing out candy? What's the traditional rule that if you're not handing out candy, you turn the goddamn lights off?
Yeah, but we have 19 houses. Well, so they don't have to drive up and down each street. they'll let people know which houses have candy, and then they drive on a hay wagon to those houses. There's 13 miles of road in our development.
So they could ride in the thing for 13 miles and they say, hey, look, kids, the light's on. Jump out and get that house. Ravage that house. All you have to do is turn the lights off. Why were you telling anyone? That would be the worst thing. You know what that is? That's telling the office that these are the people not handing out candy, and then they take that list, which is probably a small list, and hand it to the guy who's driving the hay thing and go, here's the list, and here's 22 dozen eggs.
Last time I looked, there's 19 houses out of 500 that, some of them are vacation homes, but there's only 19 houses that are giving out candy so
Really?
far.
Well, that's still a good haul. Yeah. Now, I know when we're out there doing the Halloween stuff, I get hungry, and I want to say thank you to Papa John's. Papa John's right now is introducing this new Bacon Mania. And when I say Bacon Mania, on my pizza, I like to have pepperoni, lots of pepperoni. Yeah. I like Roma tomatoes, like fresh Roma tomatoes cut up on top. Maybe I like it extra cooked. I like a little burnt on my crust. And I like lots of bacon. Now, what they're doing right now at Papa John's, they're putting, instead of the little crumbles, the pre-manufactured crumbles, and they're probably, pseudo-homogeneous, whatever kind of...
Yeah, 0% bacon.
They are actually putting full strips of bacon on Papa John's.
That does look good.
So there you go. So if you're out there and you got the little kids in the hay wagon, and you're looking how to feed them something healthy instead of candy.
I like bacon on my bacon. I wonder if they use Spam. How that would be.
No, that would be horrible. Now, Christmas time actually coming around, and my wife likes the little. Well, hold on. My wife likes Little Debbie, the little zebra cakes. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Do you like them?
I don't. I've never liked anything from Little Debbie. I'm sorry.
Really? Yeah. Well, you're not a big sweet.
Well, I have taste buds. That's the whole thing.
But you don't. So you don't like sweet. Well, you don't like sweet stuff, anyways.
No.
So if you had a sweet tooth craving. What would you have? Coffee?
One of those honey buns. Get one of those honey buns.
Oh, back in the day when you were in jail.
Yeah.
So Little Debbie right now is coming out with, the little Christmas trees that Little Debbie comes out with. It's got the green and the red glitter on it. And it's sprinkles. They're actually creating an ice cream right now. Little Debbie is turning this treat into a ice cream of your dreams. Someone's at the front door. I'll worry about them later. This 2021 holiday season is on the horizon with our sights set on seasonal treats. Little Debbie's Christmas tree cakes is now going to be in those little pint-sized, like the Ben & Jerry's type style. They're coming out with Christmas tree cakes, ice cream.
Is Little Debbie like Aunt Jemima? She really doesn't exist. They just...
I'm surprised they really haven't gotten off after Little Debbie, because she looks like she could have been or would have been a slave owner's kid.
Yeah. And she looks like an obnoxious kid. I mean, just looking at her, you'd want to punch her in the face. So.
Now, back on the topic of Halloween, Krispy Kreme itself is changing its name only for Halloween. So they're coming out with their new spooky treats. They're called Halloween Krispy Scream instead of Krispy Kreme.
Oh, and it's got the orange and the black colors.
It's got all the different things. And I saw something, I think Dunkin' Donuts was doing something where they actually had an orange donut. I know everyone out there is starving right now. They're going, stop talking about donuts and stuff. They have a donut, the hole in the middle that's empty. They take one of the Dunkin' Donuts munchkins. You know what a munchkin is? Yep. They stick it right in the middle. And they draw like legs off so it looks like a spider sitting on the middle of the donut. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah. And they've done all these different...
I see one looks like a black cat with the ears drawn on it and the whiskers.
Now, when you eat all your pizzas and you eat all your donuts and you eat all your Halloween candy, the first thing you do is say, what would you like to drink with that? Some people will say chocolate milk. Some people will say oat milk, which we actually tried the other day, which wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I've been drinking almond milk, and I'm used to it. It's not as thick, but it tastes good.
But especially like when you go to the fast food restaurants, you're like going, give me a double cheeseburger, this and that, and I'll have a Diet Coke.
Yeah, that balances it out. It takes all the calories out of it.
Now, recent studies have shown that swearing off diet soda is not good for you. Now, back in 1952, it was actually meant for diabetic people. They designed this, what they called no-calorie, that can contain, what's this word right here?
Cyclamate.
Which it says it doesn't metabolize in your body, so it doesn't spike your sugars or anything like that. However, the same company that explains this article is when you drink this stuff called cyclamate, right? It actually...
Notice they don't put the name cyclamate on the can. Like, hey, give me a can of cyclamate and 2 of them, I guess.
So what happens is your body actually is missing whatever that process was, and you crave more calories. So right here.
Oh, so however, while Diet Cola certainly has fewer calories than traditional soda, these days it really carries the reputation of being healthy. If anything, it's more of an alternative. But there have been significant studies that show diet soda is linked to a plethora of medical conditions, including type 2 diabetes, stroke, and heart failure. According to Business Insider, many people now believe the negative effects of diet soda are substantially worse than the sugar and the calories from regular cola.
So that I guess they're saying,
it makes you hungrier, and then you eat sweets to make up for it.
So either damned if you do or damned if you don't. So damned if you drink the sugary drinks, and if you don't drink the sugary drinks, you're going to be starving anyways. You're going to be twice as hungry as before.
It's worse off. Now, do you have butter or margarine? Yeah.
I have butter.
And I have butter, too. They have all the different margarines. I said, no, give me the old-fashioned butter.
And the only reason why I don't drink easy, Trav. The only reason why I don't eat margarine is because there was an article that came out, I don't know how many years ago, that said the only difference between margarine that you buy in the tub and the actual tub that the margarine is one molecule.
It's that much plastic in it? Yeah.
No, it's only one molecule difference that's between the margarine and the actual plastic. So I don't know what that one molecule is. When I read that, I was like going, you know what? I'm done with margarine. I'm not going to eat that anymore.
Yeah, and those ones that say, I can't believe it's nut butter. I don't like that stuff.
Well, we stick to the regular butter. We stick to the regular stuff, the natural stuff, the salted, the unsalted.
Yeah, the sticks of butter. Yeah.
And so that's where you go from there. Now, Dan, what would I say to you if you could eat donuts and watch your favorite show and get paid for it at the same time? What would you say if I said I would, Dan?
If my favorite show, maybe. Or how much money you get paid?
Now, Dan, if I'm going to give you $9,000 to watch, hold on, don't jump ahead of me. If I'm going to tell you, Dan, I'm going to give you $9,000 to watch 706 episodes of your favorite show and give you a box of donuts every week, what would you say?
Maybe if it was my favorite show.
Okay. Do you have any shows out there that has 706 episodes?
No,
There's not many out there. But right now, this company is going to pay you close to $700 or $7,000 to watch 706 episodes of The Simpsons, including the movie as well. Now, during that time, you'll also get a week free of donuts for a week for. Figure out the math on that.
Lots of donuts. Is that what you're trying to say?
Lots of donuts. So there you go.
So you get 8 weeks to watch it. So that's 60 days divided by 706. It's not right.
I'm waiting. So you get 8 weeks, and you can elect to watch all 706 episodes of the show runs as well as the Simpsons movie. In times of uncertainty, a lot of people find themselves turning to the Simpsons. Apparently, for some of us, it just isn't the embrace of the nostalgia, but it means trying to accurately predict the future. Now, they've said a million times that the Simpsons have predict the future. They're cutting edge. They talked about this, they talked about that, and the Simpsons have already talked about it well before the Simpsons or the actual event actually happened.
Is that a half-hour show?
Well, when you take out the commercials and everything, what you don't know about... You ready for this, Dan?
Yeah.
Here's my film and theater degree coming in the action here. When you book a 30-minute show, a 30-minute show is not really 30 minutes. 29 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm sorry, 29 minutes and 30 seconds because they have to allow for station identification.
And it's about 21 minutes.
Well, hold on. Let me finish. So... Stepping all over my I paid a lot of money for this degree. Do you want my information or not?
No, I don't want to hear it at all. Go ahead.
So 29 minutes and 30 seconds because they have to allow for station identification at the top and the bottom of every hour. Now, during that 29 minutes and 30 seconds, they allow for whatever it is to advertise it. Yes, and then it does drop down to 21 minutes. So in a 30-minute episode, you're already robbed 30 seconds and then down to 21 minutes of actual content, quote-unquote content. And that includes the credits before and after.
Yeah, and so you have to watch 11.7 episodes. And times 21 minutes, you see 3 episodes in an hour. If that's assuming you can zip through the commercials and stuff.
But you have to take notes. You have to do all this stuff. Here, let's see right here. Right here.
Yeah, during each episode, the professional will be asked to take notes on standout storylines to feed back to us and a team of prediction experts. They'll then compile the events into a list of future predictions or the probability of each one happening, So the analyst, if that's what we're calling it, will clock in a 35-hour work week with flexible hours. Along with the salary, the gig said to come with a weekly free box of donuts to help pass the time. All that is asked of you is a laptop or a TV, fluency in English, and strong writing skills. And of course, a love of the Simpsons is desirable. I don't think for $9,000 I could watch them that.
Really?
Yeah.
I could, and I was telling my wife the other day, I said, I burned through King of the Hill, was on Hulu. I burned through all 14 seasons on that. I was kind of disappointed. I didn't realize they stopped it and kind of fell short on the season finale or the series finale. And so now I've gone back to American Dad, which was in post-production before COVID, and now they've released all those out, and I'm finishing that up. And these are cartoons and stuff that I watch because they reflect, what's going on in society and all that stuff.
And you admit this?
I do. I'm telling you right here on the air. And I
You're
said,
a braver man than me.
Now I said, well, what's the next episode or the next series I can go? And I said, you know what? I love The Simpsons. I kind of fell off of The Simpsons when they got a little, I don't want to say preachier, but like Family Guy came out, and Family Guy was a little bit more bing, bang, boom. Jokes were like bang, 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 bang in your face instead of drawing it out like The Simpsons were doing. But not to understand that, but they would actually they would actually mold you into the actual joke of the whole entire show, kind of what South Park does. And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go back and watch like season 1, the very horrible episodes that were all drawn freehand, and then watch all 706 episodes. I was going to do it on my own anyways. So hopefully if they're listening to us out there, let's see who's the company that's doing this. Let's find out who they are. Do you see a name of the company? No, a UK-based online casino company. Oh, wait, hold on.
Platino?
No.
Platin Casino.
No, I don't think that's it. Let's see. This combination has led business propositions with UK online.
You've never propositioned a girl?
No.
If you did, you'd remember that word very clearly.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm acquitted. It doesn't say.
Yes, it does say.
Oh, right there. Yeah, it is. It's
platincasino.co.uk.
All right, here's where you apply. So we're always doing apply online here.
Yeah, I haven't got my check for my chicken yet.
Well, they still
haven't
done that yet. Now, all right, when we come back, we're going to talk about pets and how lovable they are and how much they love you as well. And they could probably predict the future for you as well. Stick around. You'll listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
I think it was when we had kids, we never watched cartoons.
Oh, shit. I never switched the goddamn... See, I need to put the hotkeys up here. Fuck. All right. Oh, well. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Last bit. Dangly bits. Yep, get that out of the way, please. That's all I hear.
Sounds like Farmer Vincent on Motel Hell.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Thank God we're on the right screen, and IT Dan has helped me get on the right screen. I know I messed up the last segment there.
Nah, we're just bouncing back ideas, trying to improve.
It's a one-man show. I'm like an octopus over here flailing around and trying not to eat my own tentacles at the same time.
Testicles?
No, tentacles.
Oh, okay.
And over to my
hearing is so bad.
Over to my far right hand side is IT Dan.
Yeah, rocking and rolling. I'm enjoying this.
Now, your wife, Dan, watches cats Because you don't have any animals at the house. You physically don't have any, like, pets.
No, well, we have a stray cat that doesn't come in the house. That's on our porch.
Okay.
That we look at, and she'll crawl up to the window, put the paw up on the window, and things like that.
But your wife babysits or animal sits
Yeah.
for, like, people in the neighborhood, the 19 people that hand out candy. She watches their animals and stuff.
Yeah, cats and dogs are actually. We have a dog we're watching for 3 weeks, Marley, at our house.
Is that the three-legged dog?
No, that Spike is the three-legged dog around,
Okay.
around the corner.
Now, do the animals, does Kathy know, or does she have instructions about feeding the animals at a certain time? Like, or does she feed them like, hey, when you get up, feed the animals. When you go to bed, or before you go to bed, sun up, sun down, feed the animals again?
Well, usually it's just in the morning, let Noodles out, let Noodles in, spend time on the porch.
Is Noodles the name of the animals that you have?
That's one of the cats that Kathy watches.
Okay.
5 days a week.
All right.
So she keeps busy with the cats, and we have a cat that comes to the door and lets us know when the cat's hungry.
Okay. Now, this cat right here, are you making all this up for the article?
No, we have a black and white cat.
Okay.
It's a stray cat, and the cat has 2 houses that I built. That I spent hours building these houses.
Cat houses.
Yeah.
So the reason why I say that is because this cat right here is hold on. Oh, I got to switch screens. See how this works, Dan? Oh, we're already on the screen. So this cat right here is a clever cat, plays with the food bowl, asking for dinner. Now, if you were to come home late at night, Dan, and the dinner's not on the table because your wife didn't make it, would you be upset, or would you, like, stomp around, or would you let her know, like, suspiciously, hey, dinner's not made?
No, I've never been that type. If I'm hungry, I'll make myself something. I won't starve to death, but.
So this cat right here cleverly lets his owner know that it needs food.
Yeah.
So describe what you're seeing, Dan.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is probably like a 10-pound cat, very pretty cat, and the cat's taking its left paw, and it's rattling the bowl. It's on the edge of the bowl, rattling it against the tile floor, letting the people know, hey,
It's almost like a dinner
hungry,
bell.
yeah.
It's a dinner bell the cat's trying to do.
You can't help hear it in the house saying, hey, I'm hungry. So
And you can tell the cat's probably pretty old.
yeah. It's a cute cat, though.
I want to be fed. It's essentially what's happening there. Which, my wife, the other night, we have brand new kitties here at the house. We adopted them from the the rescue shelter. And we have a male, which is Cheeto, orange tabby, and a female, which is we call her Trisket.
Can you train them to make that noise with the bowl?
Well, we train them to go outside, and now they're getting adventurous. They're getting old. They're not kittens anymore. They're teenagers, so they're running around the house or running around the property and stuff. But they know not to go into the horse pasture. We taught them. We like no, so they know their boundaries. Go ahead. What?
How old are they in cat years?
I don't think there's a cat years thing, but they are. I think 9 weeks old, 12 weeks old. They're getting ready to be spayed and neutered here in the next couple weeks. So my wife, I was doing something. I was working all day long and doing stuff outside the property. My wife working inside the property. We kind of let the cats go in and out of the house as they please. So it came to be bedtime, and my wife's like going, all right, where's Cheeto at? That's the male. That's the orange tabby. And the orange tabby came right inside, but was like, meow, 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 meow. Like she's looking for her sister. Now they're from 2 different litters, but they grew up together. And so my wife's running. We walked around this whole entire property for 2.5 hours looking for the little gray calico Trisket. We walked all the way down to my wife walked all the way down to the round pen, walked all the way back to this. We were running around with flashlights. And I was like going, all right, there's only 2 things that could have happened if the cat's not coming up to us. And it had a little bell on its neck. I said, there's only 2 things that could have happened. 1, the horse could have trampled it, got into the pasture and could have gotten stomped. Or 2, there's a highway, small highway out in front of our property there, and it could have got run over. See, this is where I need to switch the screens here.
Well, that's 2 optimistic things for you to think of.
So I said, let me do this. Babe, you walk that side of the property, and I'll check the kill zones, So I'm walking through the pasture, up and down the pasture, the front pasture, and looking for, tuft of fur or anything like that. I'm walking out there, nothing. I walk out there by the highway. It's late at night, so the trucks aren't running. So I go out there and I'm looking on the road for like a wet spot. I'm looking on the road in the gutters, to see, or in the ditches on the side and stuff. Don't be disgusting. I'm looking on the sides, looking for, tuft of hair.
For roadkill. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Nothing. I'm like, look, babe. I said, I don't know where she's at. I don't know what's going on, but she's on the property somewhere.
I'm thinking in a closet or something, locked in a closet.
You would sit there. It's kind of like when you lose your keys. You always check the refrigerator 3 times to see if your keys are in there. You ever done that? You're like, I can't find my keys. Did I put them in the refrigerator? I just came home from shopping.
I've never looked in the refrigerator for keys.
So, long story short, we found her. She was in the garage. She was tucked in behind up to the studio. We have a staircase with 2 landings on it to get up here. As she was underneath the staircase, just kind of hanging out there.
Oh, that's not a bad place.
Well, and anyway, so it drove my wife into a panic. Now,
why don't you get some of those Apple tracker things?
Your
wife has an iPhone, right?
No. Well, she has an iPhone for work, but not for.
And you can't put any apps on.
No, you can't do anything like that. Now, Dan, you're right. You just got back from vacation, or what we considered a VA, because you were only gone for an hour and a half for.
Yeah, and it was great. We didn't have to go through the checkout line or any of that stuff at the airport.
Why not?
Because we drove.
Oh. Now, when you go to the airport right now, TSA right now is actually, they're lifting the ban on taking off your shoes. The restrictions are getting less.
They forgot about the shoe bomber.
Well, it's not that. They have the scanning device that does all the
full
stuff.
Full body scan
is getting more and more better.
Hi, great.
And they're able to sense stuff in your shoes, or they've upgraded the scanner and everything. And so they say, you don't have to take your shoes off. I know they were making you take out every freaking electronics that you have. You don't have to do that as much anymore. In the newer, the upgraded airplane airports
what I hated
area.
The worst?
What?
Taking my belt off.
You know what?
Then you know what? You take your belt off and my pants don't stay up. I got no ass, so I have a special belt that's all plastic that I can wear, and I don't have to take it off.
I don't even today, in the last couple of years, we've gone up to New York. We flew up to New York and stuff, and flown down to Florida. I don't take my belt off unless they actually say take your belt off.
Yeah, usually have the metal belt buckle that sets.
I don't care. And they go, "Oh, is your belt on? Yeah, it's on. Yeah, you're a white guy. You're a good-looking white guy. We'll let you through."
Well, you're white anyway. Yeah.
Now, this couple right here was flying to Vegas, and loaded up their suitcases. Hey, we're going to Vegas. We're gonna hang out and spend a retreat with all our friends and stuff. And they loaded up their luggage, and now everyone pays. You got to pay for your luggage, or if it's over a certain amount of weight. So this family right here packed up all their luggage, got in the car. And Jared and Chrissy Owens were heading for their vacation last month when they checked their bags in and noticed that the weight on the luggage itself was a few pounds heavier than they expected or anticipated. So what do? You open it up and try to take out the soap bottle or whatever that you got that's making the suitcase a little bit heavier. And guess what happened right here?
Yeah.
Hold on.
They decided to redistribute the weight between different bags, and the Salty of the airline's employee began to help when the Chihuahua Icky made her grand appearance. Boom! There's our Icky coming out of one of the boots I packed, she told him. She goes, "We were dumbfounded and flat-shocked and embarrassed, to be honest. She loves to bury you in our laundry baskets, clothes, blankets, wherever she can. Warm and comfy, and that day she snuck into the suitcase."
So here she is. Yeah. Here's Icky, and she's a little Chihuahua, and she snuck her way in. It looks like she's sitting in like one of Daddy's boots or anything like that.
But here's my question: if you're going away, aren't you going to have someone watching the dog? And wouldn't the person say, "Hey, if I'm supposed to be watching Icky, where is Icky?"
But what if it was like, "All right, we're leaving at 9.
Yeah,
and
you can take care of Icky.
Yeah, come by at 12, and Icky should be ready to go out." And Icky got into the suitcase. It was a little bit, so they had to pay a little bit more. So let's see right here.
Yeah, the Texas couple was still able to catch their flight and made arrangements for Icky to be picked up by friends. So she shared it on Facebook. And
But I mean, Icky just wanted to go. I wanted to go with you, Mommy and Daddy. I want to go with you.
Well, that's an interesting story.
Now, speaking of friends and pets, and how do you think, Dan, what determines that you're going to have a good day in the morning?
Usually, if I wake up and I'm breathing, that's the very first.
I think that's about 98% of everyone right now. So, is there anything that you say? For example, my wife. Hold on.
You mean some kind of superstition or some kind of something happens?
Not necessarily that. Hold on. So my wife, she rides horses. She has a trainer that comes out and she rides horses with the trainer, and she does that 3 times a week. And I always go down, when they've wrapped up and stuff, because I don't want to bother them. So I go down there, and as the trainer's leaving, because I don't want, I don't want them to, and I don't want to inhibit their shop talk, So I go down there after the trainer leaves. I'm like, how was your ride? How did everything go? And she's like, it was a good day. I did better. The horse did better than I did. That type of stuff. But some days you're just like going, when I go down there and she says, oh, it was horrible. I want to, sell the house, sell the horses, burn everything to the ground. I'm like, those kind of days.
Like when Kathy called me when we had that rainy day in the house, she thought the house was flooded away and everything.
So when you hear these things or you see these things, you're like going, okay, it's going to be a bad day or it's going to be a good day, whatever party's involved. Now, right now, do you know what Bones Day is or No Bones Day?
No, but I think I'm going to learn.
So this is the latest trend that's on TikTok right now. Now, you said Noodle, and I was like, were you talking about? Yeah,
Noodles is the cat's name. Yeah.
So Noodle, who is Noodle? Let's see. Mercury is in the retrograde right now, like you heard on last week's podcast.
Who cares?
But right now, there's one question right now that matters. Is it Bones Day or No Bones Day? In the recent week, millions of TikTok users have flocked to an account run by a man by the name of Jonathan to find out if his supposedly psychic pug named Noodles has bones or no bones. And they guessed correctly, yes, you read it correctly, whether it's going to be fun or not. Now, this pug is only 13 years old. Now, I say only 13 years old. That's long time for a pug. I mean,
that's ancient.
That is ancient. If Noodle stays upright, then congratulations. It's going to be Bones Day. And then if Noodles collapses, then it's going to be No Bones Day. That means, take easy, stay cautious, be careful of yourself.
So you run your whole day depending on what happens with Noodle.
So here's the video right now. And for those of you out there that want to follow along, go to profitradio.com, click on DeaconLive. For every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well. And here is Noodles. So here we go.
Yet another round of No Bones, the game where we find out if my 13-year-old pug woke up with bones. And in addition, we'll find out what kind of day we're going to have. Now, I don't know about you, but it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was getting ready for bed, and I was hoping and wishing for a Bones Day. Oh my gosh, and we got one!
It's a Bones Day!
One. Look at that. Look at him, standing like a deep-rooted tree. Oh, Noodle, thank you for your bounty. Okay, it's a Bones Day, and you know what that means. You got to treat yourself today. Get the scallion pancakes with your takeout order. I don't care if you finish them. Get that deliriously expensive candle. Bask in your good fortune and have a great weekend.
So there you go. This pug is just sitting in its bed or laying in its bed, and he picks him up. Jonathan picks him up, and Noodle stands there. If he can maintain balance and everything, it's a good day.
If he flops down, it's a bad day.
Well, sometimes he'll readjust himself and go back down.
What kind of day do your pugs have?
I don't have pugs. I've got bulldogs.
Oh, well,
I have English bulldogs.
And what kind of day do they have?
You know what? It's touch and go.
You're going to have to keep track of them so you know what kind of day you're going to have.
I know. Every day, we try to make every day, because both of them are old. We have a 14-year-old English Bulldog, and we have an 11-year-old English Bulldog, both females. And they're getting old. They're not scrambling around or anything like that. But they're doing good. We make sure every day, we make sure we pet them. We make sure you get lovin's and stuff. They get the best food that they can get.
And they're going to love this show because we got a couple things about England.
All right.
Yeah.
On that note, Dan, we're going to let you guys get back to what you got to do. On behalf of IT Dan,
Hey, it's been a great time.
my name is the Deacon saying good night and good night.
Wait. Come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
I think that show went good. Except for what's his name trying to read.
Yeah,
stuff.
don't tell jokes for me, please.
Don't what?
Don't tell jokes for me.
For you?
Yeah, don't tell jokes for me.
What kind of jokes?
I don't know. I just felt like every time you told a joke, you were looking at me for a reaction. I'm like going,
Oh.
I don't care about these. All right, there you go. Jazz hands. Bye. See ya. Go like this, Dan, to your camera. Hold it there for a minute. Hold it there. You gotta hold it there because it gets the. If YouTube sees a